Hello students, today we will discuss about the pollen morphology, the formation of the male gametes and what is pollen kit and what is sporopollenin. So we will discuss all about it. So as you can see these pictures, green balls. So these are all the pollen grains and these have been and these are showing the variously sculptured walls. So this sculpturing is also species specific, and this the pollen grain is made up of two walls, outer and the inner. Outer one is called as the exine and inner is called as the intine. So outer exine is variously sculptured and it is not continuous all over the surface of the pollen grain, but it is lacking here and there. So these pores where the exine is discontinuous and it is absent, or those spaces are called as the germ pores or the apertures, germination apertures, and these are with the elongated furrows and circular pores or both. The number of the apertures, position and the characteristics of NPC. NPC means number, position and character of the furrows, of the germ furrows. They play an important role in the taxonomy. So what are the germ pores? Germ pores are the apertures through which the pollen tube emerges out when the pollen germinates. Okay. And not only the protection, the exine sculpturing plays an important role in the arrangement of plays an important role for the attachment to the insect pollinators and adhesion to the surface, to the stigmatic surface. So sculpturing is helpful for their dispersal, you can say this thing. And below the exine there is one or more layers. These are the basal nexine layers. Nexine is a part of the intine, and the second major wall layers surrounds the pollen grain. The intine composed of pectin and cellulose. So we say that it is a pectocellulosic in nature, and exine is made up of sporopollenin. Sporopollenin is a biopolymer of the fatty acids, carotenoids and phenyl propanoids, phenols and the carotenoids. So how the synthesis of wall layers occurs? So the outermost is the exine. So exine जो है it develops by the contribution of the early microspore cytoplasm and the inner anther cell layers, the tapetum having a role in the sporopollenin. So mainly it develops from the tapetum plus the cytoplasm of the developing microspores. These two things contribute to the exine formation, and then intine wall formation occurs by the control of the microspore cytoplasm and involves gametophytic gene expression from the haploid microspore nucleus. So it is all contributed, the intine is all contributed by the microspore plus the gene expression of the haploid microspore nucleus. Matlab it is under the control of the nucleus plus the cytoplasm of the microspore. Pollen wall formation that can be summarized, we can summarize it in two themes by the scientist, one named Haslop and Harrison. In 1971 he gave a model for the development of the pollen wall. The scientist Haslop Harrison considered the prime exine as a blueprint for the formation of the exine. Means there is a rough copy which leads to the final and full-fledged formation of the exine. The prime exine is called as a blueprint for the formation of exine, and it is a matrix presumably made up of the cellulose microfibrils, and it is deposited between the spore and the callose wall. It is deposited where it is deposited, spore plus the callose wall, because when the microspores are formed they are formed in the form of a tetrad, and this whole of the tetrad is embedded in a common callosic wall. Before they get separated from each other, they are present within a common wall. Only after the wall formation they are separated from each other. So when it is inside the callosic wall, then this material starts depositing between the spore, in the space which is between the callose wall and the spore. Scott believes, 1994, he believes that the prime exine act as a loose scaffold to which the sporopollenin monomers, fatty acid and phenols, they are covalently bonded, and by the localized action of the superoxide radicals generated at the plasma lemma. So pollen wall, as we have earlier discussed, it is made up of exine and intine. Exine is a, as you can see, it consists of many layers, sublayers, and it is composed of chiefly made up of the sporopollenin, which is a biopolymer of the carotenoids and the other things, and which is derived from the oxidative polymerization, resistant to physical and the biological decomposition. And so because of the presence of the sporopollen, only that the microspores are preserved for a longer time. Even we get many fossils of the pollen grains. So these are only preserved because of the presence of this hard coating of exine and the sporopollenins that performs a protective layer over it during its journey from the anther to the stigmatic surface. And also it prevents it from the fungal decay, dehydration, desiccation, and the acid attacks, etc. Intine is a pectocellulosic layer. It is a microfibrillar with microfibrils oriented in the plane parallel to the surface. Presence of the beads, ribbons, plate of the enzyme and proteins, particularly at the vicinity of the germ pores, matlab near to the germ pores. And both intine and exine, they extend regulative role, stability and biological attributes. Then the pollen wall. Here is the full-fledged structure of the pollen wall. A portion has been disclosed here. Pollen grain rather uniform in its wall architecture. First it is having a tectate exine, and then second is the pilate exine. A mature pollen wall shows two distinct layers, outer exine and the inner intine. Exine is made up of sporopollenin, which is highly resistant material believed to be produced by the oxidative polymerization of the carotenoid pigments. So it is a oxidative polymerization of carotenoids, that is the sporopollenin. And the sculptured part of the exine is made up of the radially oriented rod-like baculae. Means sculpture part, it is made up of the baculae, and that may remain open or covered by the roof of the tectum. Here you can see in the diagram, the outermost is the tectum, and then tectum is covered covered by the baculae, and baculae, they are further continuation with the foot layer, and after this foot layer we have the end exine, and then innermost is the intine. And separately we can show in the figure B, the pores, gaps are present, pores, and these are the baculae, and this foot layer and end exine, and then intine. Further, how these are developed. At the starting stage or at the initial stage, the pollen grain tetrads, the microspore tetrads, they are surrounded by the common wall of the callus, and individual spore wall is not formed yet, and these are separated from the other spores by the tetrad, other tetrads by means of the callosic partitions. And afterwards that the wall formation starts. Two phases occur in the formation of the wall. First phase, the wall material derived from the cytoplasm of the spore wall, and this is during the tetrad stage. In the second phase, after the release of the spores through the enzymatic degradation of the callosic wall, the wall materials are contributed by the tapetum in addition to the spore cytoplasm. The first layer of the pollen wall is cellulosic and is known as the prime exine, and the cellulosic microfibrils of the layer are deposited by the convoluted plasma lemma of the spore and the callosic wall. And the cellulose prime exine is discontinuous at the origins, and the gaps are there and they are created the mark in the position of the germ pores. When cellulosic prime exine attains a degree of thickness, when it gets thickened, additional gaps appear in it, and columns of convoluted lamella, they are deposited in the gaps at the surface of the plasma lemma. And these columns are called as the probacula, and the cytoplasm of the spore starts synthesizing the precursors of the sporopollenin, polymerized and deposited on the surface of the lamella, and the columns are called as the bacula. Probacula are then converted into bacula with the increasing age of the developing microspores. And then the distribution and orientation of the bacula, they vary according to the pattern of the mature exine. Later, the lower ends of the baculae, they sideways to the cellulosic layer, prime exine, and combine to the foot layer. And the foot layers form a sort of the floor on which are raised the columns and bacula. And the top of the bacula column, they may also spread sideways in all directions to form the tectum. Here we can see in the diagram first stage of the pollen wall development. Here you can say that probaculum are present. Probacula are then the material deposit over their head surface, and they get broadened and they fuse with each other on their upper surface, and the probaculum converts into the baculum. And then second stage, here we are showing that the probaculum coated with sporopollen and forming the bacula. You can see in this diagram. And then to this extent, exine is formed inside the callosic wall of the tetrads. Now even yet the microspores have not been liberated from the common tetrad wall, and the pattern of the mature exine that has already been laid down before the spores are set free. And with the passage of the time, the callus is gradually digested or degraded, and the individual spores, they lie free in the anther locule. They are set free from each other, and this occurs in all the pollen tetrads. In the free state, the pollen grains, they synthesize the intine and the innermost layer of the exine. So up to this stage, the exine is formed only, then intine and the innermost exine is formed after the liberation of the microspores from their common callosic wall. And the formation of the intine by the time of the dictyosomes, it gradually starts to develop at the vacuolated stage beneath the apertures. And this increases the thickness under the pores, and later on it starts to develop under the interapertural parts as part of the thin layer. Golgi bodies, they are frequently during the intine synthesis, and the intine beneath the pores, they become comparatively very thick and is provided with the fibrillar material and readily arranged membranes units. Then what is the pollen kit? Pollen kit is an important part of this topic, the wall formation. What is the pollen kit? Pollen kit is an oily layer. It is found outside the mature pollen grains of many entomophilous flowers. These have been found in case of entomophilous flower. Entomophilous flowers means which are pollinated by the insects. Pollen kit material is contributed by the tapetal cell comprising of the lipid and carotenoids. Carotenoids, they are responsible for the yellow or the orange color and contain some protein making sticky substances. And the biological function of the pollen kit is to obscure but some suggestions as far as the function is concerned, acting as an insect attractant and also help in the attachment with the insects. So entomophilous means the pollinated plants pollinated with the insect, and protecting the pollens from the ultraviolet radiations, and many function as pollen borne substances involved in the saprophytic incompatibility. Then what is sporopollenin? Here we have discussed about the pollen kit, and what is now sporopollen, as we have discussed many times in between the topic. The pollen grains, they consist of the three substances. The inside cell is filled with the living cytoplasm that deteriorates rapidly during the fossilization, and the inner layer of the cell wall mainly made up of the pectin and the cellulose, pectocellulose, that also undergoes degradation. The internal part of the pollen grain may undergo degradation with due course of the time during the process of fossilization. And the outer wall, the exine, that is mainly composed of the sporopollenin as an nitrogen free polymeric substances belonging to the terpenes, having chemical formula in this one, and it is extremely unsaturated and undergoes corrosion by the oxygen, but it is resistant to strongly alkaline substances and organic acids. So it is the most resistant substance of the plant world. So here we can see the fatty substances which are made. Pollen kit is an oily layer. Here you can see in this diagram pollen kit, that is in the form of a oily layer outside the exine, and then sporopollenin. The outer part of the pollen grain is covered by pollen kit, and then inner to this pollen kit is the sporopollenin, exine, and then in the intine. And here we can show the layers of the pollen wall. Here it is the outermost is the exine. Exine is distributed into parts: sexine, nexine, okay, and then intine. Inner to intine is present the plasma membrane, and nexine is also divided into two sublayer, nexine 1 and nexine 2, and sexine is made up of tectum and bacula. And next slide we can see that how the meiocyte divides. Meiocyte divides by the meiosis, and as you know, the result of meiosis is a four-celled, that is diploid structure is converted into a four-celled haploid mass of 4 cells, that is called as the microspore. And then microspore is a unicellular cell. We can say it is a pollen grain or microspore. And then pollen grain divides into two cells, one is larger and one is smaller. One is called as vegetative cell, other is called as the generative cell. In most of the cases, the pollen are shed at a two-celled stage. This bi-celled stage means the vegetative and the generative cell. Vegetative cell is larger and generative cell is smaller, and afterwards it may complete its further development on the stigmatic surface. But in most of the 60 to 70% angiospermic families, it is dispersed, or it is shed off from the parental plant at a three-celled stage. Means the generative cell divides into two male gametes. In this way, total 3 cells are formed. At three-celled stage, the pollen grains leaves the mother plant and reaches to the stigmatic surface, or it is shed off from the anthers and then reaches to the stigmatic surface. Then the diagram of the male germ unit. What is the male germ unit? Here, as I have told you, that pollen grain is divided into two parts: vegetative cell and the generative cell. You can see this generative cell. This is discoid shape, and it is smaller, and the vegetative cell is larger. And after the when it germinates, the pollen tube emerges out, and at the stigmatic surface, pollen germinates to give out the pollen tube through one of the germ pores, and the generative cell divides into two male gametes, and this pollen tube contains the tube nucleus and the generative nucleus. Then this generative nucleus divides into two male gametes. So all these three structures, the tube nucleus plus the two male gametes, this is called as the male germ unit, as it is clear from this diagram. So this is all about the formation of the male gametes and the morphology of the pollen valve. Thank you.